All right.
We
That's
are.
right. It's Bad Weather Fans, episode number 288. Mike Paseglia, Alex Benesowitz. We are live after the New York Knicks defeat the Brooklyn Nets tonight at Madison Square Garden, make it 11 straight for the Knicks over the Nets. And it was a bloodbath, start to finish domination, just complete destruction. We'll get into the details of the game. We'll get into all the little nuances of everything. But from a broad scope, this was a start to finish beatdown, Knicks over the Nets. And, from my perspective, Alex, I think the number one thing that I realized when I watched this is just the talent level between the two teams is completely different, right? You got a Knicks team that has star power and just deep depth and veterans and just a very good NBA roster, and a Nets team that is clearly in a rebuild and just doesn't have the options to match them. And it was on full display tonight. And Knicks destroy the Nets, Alex. So good evening.
They did. Good evening, Mike. Pretty happy. It went exactly how I would hope. I wasn't nervous, but it was close. Close-ish. It was like 13 or something. It wasn't like 40 points like it got up to or something. Earlier in the game. Then that third quarter was just like ridiculous. So, I'm very happy. I'm going to save some trolling for later, but I'm pretty happy. And
Okay. What do you
going.
mean? What do you mean for late? Like with me personally, or on the
No,
internet?
not you. Just I'm just saying, like it went as expected. The game,
Yeah.
it was like a lose for the Knicks. You know what I mean? You win, you're supposed to do it. You lose, and it's a disaster. You know what I'm saying? Like not a disaster, but it'll be bad. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of the talking, a lot of things will happen.
No, I
That
get
kind
you.
of stuff.
What do
I'm
you
saying?
mean by I'll save the trolling for later? Are you saying that you're going to be trolling me later? Or
No, like Nets fan. I want to get more people on the stream first before I start going. And you know what I mean? We only got 50 people here now, and it's growing. So I wanted to keep going.
All right, I understand. I mean,
Yeah.
I'll do my best to see if I can counteract it. I've only been with you now for 5 years. We'll see if I can handle it,
man.
But yeah, no, it was a complete beatdown. The Knicks got whatever, and this was the same problem that happened against the Pistons. Is teams get whatever they want into the paint, and then they kick it out and they make threes.
Right.
And it was bad. It was bad, and obviously that this is coming as a Net fan, right? Like this roster doesn't have much, and they're without Cam Thomas too. And I've said this. I feel bad for Cam. I think for the ultimate growth of the Nets, not having Cam Thomas out there will help them grow and develop, because they're left on an island all by themselves, and Cam isn't part of the future. And I think he is hindering some of the growth of other guys. But when you're not that it would have made a difference. I mean, don't get me wrong, but when you're without Cam Thomas, you're not that good to begin with. You clearly saw, what that can look like, and the Knicks were at full display and took advantage of it.
Yeah. I mean, the Nets won their only game without Cam Thomas, though. So it was kind of surprising that they did. But Michael Porter Jr. did all he could do tonight.
It's only one guy.
Yeah. I mean, Clowney, I actually like that hard foul by Clowney towards the end of the game on Towns, where it's like Towns.
It was an offensive foul on Towns. He got away with it with the hook.
Was it? Oh, I didn't see that.
He was hooking. He was hooking him, and he was pissed.
Yeah,
he hooked every play. Clowney tonight was.
But I like that hard foul, by the way. Don't let him just drive right by you. But go ahead.
Clowney was frustrating tonight because he settled for threes, which I don't like when he's doing. But you saw some of the flashes of him where he had the block shot on Anunoby, who was attacking the rim, and he wasn't scared of that. He had a rough game offensively, but for him, he's been showing some flashes. It's been nice to see. The rookies, played okay. Drake Powell was pretty good, actually. Powell, for the people watching and for the Knicks fans, was when the Nets traded Mikal for 5 picks. 2 of the picks, one of them is Ben Saroff, who's in the G League right now, and the other one was Drake Powell, who you saw on display. He was in the Bucks part of the trade. He looked pretty good. I would say he was probably the most from a bad night. He was probably the best part of it from a Nets fan perspective.
couple bad turnovers late by him, but he's young. The Knicks
Yeah,
were overwhelming the Nets at that point. It was kind of like, all right, can we end this
too much.
game? I thought that, obviously the Knicks weren't going to run up the score on the Nets, especially with the connection of Mike Brown and Jordy Fernandez. Jordy Fernandez was Mike Brown's assistant coach in Sacramento, for those who don't know. So it's kind of his protege, Mike Brown's protege. So he's not going to embarrass Jordy Fernandez. This isn't like the Knicks and Nets of 5 years ago, where it was like Durant, Kyrie, where there's nothing but bad blood on both sides. Now the coaches have a respect for each other.
Friends.
Yeah, they've got to be friends. So, there's that. So the rivalry is still there a little bit, but this was one of those games where it had to be the Knicks romp. And now the rest of the games, I mean, they play again soon, right? Another week or two. So
I believe maybe right before Thanksgiving, right after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, very soon.
Knicks got to take advantage of these games. They're at home and they have an easy schedule.
Right.
Like the Wizards are bad, the Nets are bad, Memphis is bad. Like these are bad basketball teams, and the Knicks have games they got to take advantage of. I will be interested to see. And I said this to you when they were 2-3. I was like, they're going to win a lot of games coming up. They're playing bad teams at home, and they're going to just take advantage of it. So they just got to pile up these wins, and for them, just keep doing that and take advantage of teams like the Nets, and they took care of business.
They did, and before we get going even further, I want to give a shout out to our one of our great listeners and friends, Corey Cantor, who got married this weekend. Big in Twitter. Corey, shout out to him and his wife. I think Lauren, he said her name was.
I believe so.
And shout out to them. I'm sure all they're doing after they got married is watching our Bad Weather Fans live stream.
Yeah.
They probably have it up on the big screen at the wedding.
The wedding was yesterday, so
or maybe well, either way. Instead, when they're on the plane going on their honeymoon, they're probably watching it together, cuddled up in bed right now with us.
Man, I'm jealous that he gets to leave and not have to watch the Nets. Lucky.
He watched it. He had at least an eye on the score, no matter what he was doing.
Yeah, it's a day after your wedding too, so it's a little bit different. And it's kind of like it's a big there's a lot of stress and momentum going into a wedding, and there's a lot of you just feel that, right? It's a big occasion, obviously. And then once it happens, it's like the next day it's a sigh of relief in a lot of ways. You can kind of just relax a little bit. You got all the planning, all of the pressure, everything that goes into building and planning a wedding. I think probably for Corey is a little exhale. And I think that would just be for anybody, right? So I'm sure,
I'd say.
I'm just saying in general, right? So that, just get to watch the Nets get the shit kicked out of them. It sucks, man. I don't like, I'm very competitive, Alex. I might not seem like it, but I'm super competitive, and I don't like losing to them. It makes me angry because I basically obliterated Twitter from my life, but I'll come on now because I got to do it.
Of course.
And then you're sending me. I'm getting like tweets from people making fun of the amount of Net fans there are, and I'm just like, it's the same routine.
Of course. But that's why I tagged you, and Papa Left had to put that out there, so I had to send it to you because it was perfect.
Yeah, and I like Papa Left. I think he does a really good job. He's just trolling. I just wanted to remind him because he filled in for you one time on Bad Weather Fans. You were
that
out
was my honeymoon. Yeah, it was on my honeymoon.
What it was? Okay, I don't remember exactly what was going on. I don't remember. But I remember he's out, and I was talking about his fandom, and he told me he was a Bulls fan first. And the second he said that is like, dude, I'm never gonna fucking forget that for the rest of my life.
Yeah, but he was like 6 years old.
Doesn't matter to me. Doesn't matter to me. If I'm going to hear people make fun of the Nets, a little bit less respectful. I'm sorry.
I get it.
I'm sorry.
But you know what? I mean, I didn't have any other fandoms when I was
not me
because I just followed in my dad's footsteps. Whatever he was, I was. So he was a Knicks, Jets, and Mets fan. So I'm a Knicks, Jets, and Mets fan. Thanks a lot. Ass.
Yeah,
I was kidding.
But
it is what it is. Yeah.
But no, I understand. Bulls were fun. I understand the Bulls had some good players back in the day.
Yes. Some guy named Michael was pretty good then.
Frustrating.
Yeah, but I enjoyed the game tonight. I enjoyed.
It's relaxing.
It was very relaxing. It was a good run. It was I don't know. It wasn't really stressful, like I said. I mean, towards
Okay,
Jordan Clarkson. I mean, when it was like 13, I was like, God, they can make it a game.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was going to be a game, but it wasn't over. You know what I'm saying?
No, it wasn't over.
Jordan Clarkson just got hot.
Yeah, he can score.
And that's one of those guys that the Knicks have like a secret weapon on their bench, whereas like not reigning, but multiple times 6 Man of the Year award. He just had to get comfortable in his role, and people were running him out of town. Not really running him out of town. Like, why'd we get this guy? He's not doing anything. It was like 3 games in. Everybody just needed to take a beat, relax, and Jordan Clarkson will hit his stride and become a fan favorite. And sure enough, he's rolling now, and I know the Nets were not on the levels of the Knicks.
And the Nets are.
He played really well against the Bulls on Sunday. So
I mean, the Nets they could be. Yeah, the worst team in the NBA. They could be.
Yeah,
they're up there. Like,
very easily.
So,
yes.
This is not to minimize the Knicks' win because it was bad, but it is to say the Nets are horrible. Like, if you took the Nets away and it was just the Utah Jazz, and you'd be like, that was a fun, but it probably wouldn't give Knicks fans as much enjoyment.
Absolutely not.
But I mean, the Nets are a bad basketball team right now. I mean, they really are. And it's about development for them and the young players. So it's about Jaeger continuing to play, Drake Powell getting the minutes, Noah Clowney developing. I mean, that's what it's about.
Right.
And they are in the weeds of the badness. And it just sucks when you have to swallow the pill and watch it versus the Knicks. It's hard. It's hard.
Yeah,
I mean, it's extremely difficult.
No,
it's extremely difficult. I got my 5-year-old son now watching, and he's getting frustrated. Like, Daron Sharp. No, who was it? It was I think it was Michael Porter Jr. missed a free throw, and my son like dropped his head to the ground. He was like pissed. I'm like, I'm sorry, man. And then when I went to put him to bed, I told him that I was like, oh, he's like, what happened? What happened? I was like, the Nets won. My wife looked at me. He's like, don't lie to him. I was like, no, you're right. We can't be doing this. They lost.
A 45-point comeback.
Yeah. Well, he's 5. He doesn't understand. Like,
no, I know. You don't really understand until you're like 6-ish. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't really get it until then. First grade, second grade is when you really start to get it.
But
it's
like at Brooklyn Kid 05 says here, is following us on Twitter.
Yeah,
it is really tough to watch. I mean, that's
that's William
painful.
Simmons. That's our boy. He's a big fan of the show. Been around. Good guy.
Yeah.
It is really nice that the Knicks kill the Nets now every time. It used to be it was opposite a couple of years ago.
10 and now 10 game winning streak. Now 11 game win. Or
it's 11. That's crazy. Streak. I didn't even think about that. That's crazy. Yeah. So it's just nice. It's nice that nature is healing. We're back to the way it should be, and the Knicks are just beating the crap out of the Nets.
Well, the all-time rivalry is 117-112. I don't know if they showed that on the Yes Network. I'm not sure if they showed that on MSG, but it's 117-112. So it's
Knicks?
Pretty even. No, Knicks.
Yeah,
Knicks. So it's pretty even over the history of these two franchises in the NBA.
Well, the Nets probably fattened up on those the kid years and then the Durant years. So like they definitely fattened up on those times because that's when the Knicks were terrible at both times. So I get it. Well, Knicks weren't really terrible in the Durant years. They just couldn't beat them.
No, and the net years we had Richard Jefferson on this podcast and he's talked about it. Like they obliterated those Knicks teams. Man, I miss that.
Yeah,
I miss that. This was rough. This was a bad one. This was because it's not even like last year when the Nets played the Knicks. Right, all the games were ultra competitive, but you see the difference when you have Dennis Schroeder, veterans that can go out there at the point. Dorian Finney-Smith, like not the best players in the world, but pros, and not guys that are 19. This is different. Like I'm not the biggest fan of Mikal, but he's a lot better than what the Nets have out there. And Jalen Brunson's Jalen Brunson. Karl Anthony Towns.
It's Karl Anthony Towns.
He's Towns. I mean, you see though, like even in a game where he was so dominant offensively, like Daron Sharp crushed him on the boards, got whatever he wanted. Noah Clowney took it to him. Like he definitely. I get the frustration if you're a Knicks fan watching him, how tough that can be in spots. But he put up his numbers versus the Nets like he should. Yeah, I mean, there's like, it's like what can I say?
Sorry,
Yeah,
Mike,
yeah.
as Benji says, a big
I
Knicks
appreciate
fan,
it, Benji.
great guy. I met him at the Knicks game last week. He's awesome, but you know, I'm like I said, I'm just happy. And Mitchell Robinson is just he's so good. You know, he's just
His
you look at
length.
his stats don't even look that great, but you watch the games and he just dominates. He dominates the glass. He gets even the plays that don't count as rebounds. He's tipping the ball, keeping it alive. He gets every 50-50 ball for a rebound, it feels like.
Yeah.
He's just so good. He's such a difference maker. And it's so hard to explain that to people who don't watch him every game.
Sure.
Like every game, not every game, but every game that I remember, I post a screenshot of the starting lineups and I say, who has better starters, kind of a thing. It was the Timberwolves the last time I did it. I think the Knicks had 4 or 5 better starters. Obviously, just Anthony Edwards was better. Knicks had every other position, between Mitch and Gobert was probably the closest one. Other than that, it was all Knicks. And, tonight I posted it and I was like, Knicks have 5. The 5 of the 5 starters are better on the Knicks, obviously,
right.
And a couple Nets fans, I don't know if they're trolling, like Nets Frequent, shout out to him, and other accounts, troll accounts or whatever. They're like, oh, water's wet, things like that. But then a couple Net fans like Nets Frequents are like, Claxton's greater than Mitchell Robinson. It's like, come on, bro. No, he's not. Claxton's good. Don't get me wrong. And there was a time where it looked like Claxton might be better at some point, but he's not. You know what I'm saying? He's not
Claxton's played much better this year. He's put a much better season together. He's not as impactful of a player as Mitchell Robinson is. I'm happy that Claxton's starting to hit his free throws. I think too, if you're doing that for every game, so that's your thing. There's going to be people. I think it's a really good idea from a social engagement standpoint,
right?
Putting
it's
the lineup
fun.
up because it's a debate.
Yeah.
It's your opinion. Like it doesn't mean you're right. It's just an opinion. It's what you think in the moment. Like somebody might think Rudy Gobert is better than Mitchell Robinson, and there's a majority of people would probably agree with that opinion, and I would as well. I don't think Mitch has established himself as a better player than Rudy Gobert in the NBA. Whatever,
but like I'm talking about like right now, you know what I mean? That's
I still agree with that. But
all right,
but I think it's a fun social engagement thing. Now, people, if this is the first time they're seeing it because it's the Nets, then maybe I could understand like, what the hell are you doing? But if you're doing it for every team, every game, I get that. So I think it's a good idea and it's fun. I think, it's about Mitch is he healthy when it matters, right? Like tonight you played the Nets and everybody's smiling. Congrats. But what happens in April and May? That's what matters. I mean,
for sure.
This is it. You can enjoy this moment and you have fun with it because you deserve it. Right? You're a Knicks fan. You got a big win, or you beat a bad team. You're gonna have fun with it. It's the Nets. It's the Knicks. New York. I get it. But for ultimately what matters, it's him being available when it really counts. And I say all that because he's hurt a lot. And this is not me breaking any news, right?
It is
I think every Knicks fan listening to this knows this, that when he's out there, he's a difference maker. When he isn't, it's a problem. I do think for the Knicks, like what I would say, like the small details of how this team is maybe a little better than last year. It's like there's no reliance on that Josh Hart has to be a superhero for them to win. It doesn't feel like that as much. He doesn't have to go out there and be like triple double hustle. He doesn't have to do as much. I think you can feel that. They definitely have more depth than they have in the past. But I mean, I'll go out on a limb and say this, Alex. I think if Mitchell Robinson is not available in the playoffs, they can't get out of the East. I think if he is, they can. So that's how much respect I'm giving him.
Well, that's great.
I think he's that valuable to this team, and he is a difference maker defensively. And you can't bubble wrap him to the playoffs. It doesn't work like that.
It does not.
You just have to hope that the stars align, and for whatever reason, this year is different than the other ones.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, it seemed like they were resting him, early in the season, last week or 2 weeks ago, that it seemed like they were going to just, keep him, under bubble wrap, play every other game, 15 minutes a night. But he probably just got hurt. He definitely got hurt and nicked up in the preseason, and it wasn't enough to, it was bad enough to not push him. So they just said, you know what, we're just going to leave him on ice for a little while.
Yeah.
And then I understand that, and you got to keep him healthy. You got to keep him going, but you also have to keep him in shape for the playoffs. You can't just drop a guy in April like last year and expect what he did last year again. You know what I'm saying? Like last year was hurt, but he's rehabbing, he's trying, he's not just sitting on his ass, so it's just, even when you're hurt, so you have to have him ready to go and ready to rock. And the Knicks' best starting five is with him in the starting lineup. And, I was only against switching that lineup last year because it was your starting lineup the whole year into the playoffs. And then once you switch your starting lineup in the playoffs, that's usually when you lose. And that's what happened. You have to keep your lineup the way it was the whole way, even if on paper Mitchell Robinson was better. Like, you had to keep Hart in that starting lineup at that point. But clearly now it's, clearly Mitchell Robinson at center and Towns at power forward is the best lineup for the Knicks. And it makes Hart, his style of play is better off the bench anyway. Coming in, getting the loose balls, tipping it around, yelling at the crowd, we did it. Yeah, like getting that big steal, dunking it, doing the whole thing. And, that's kind of his game. And Clarkson and Deuce, I said it on the last episode when we did our split episode, that, Clarkson, Deuce, and Josh Hart could win sixth man of the year if they were on their own team as their own sixth man. Like, you know what I'm saying? So having those three guys on your bench as your, 6, 7, 8, and, whichever way you flip it in a night, it is incredible. It's an incredible tool to have as at Mike Brown's disposal for the Knicks.
I think they're all very good bench players. I don't think they're as good as 6-man award winner kind of players. I think Clarkson was. After him, I think Clarkson was. I don't think he is anymore, in my opinion. Okay, I think he's past that part of him. Mm-hmm. I don't think Deuce is. I don't think he's the 6-man of the year availability. But I think Hart could be that kind of player. I think of the three, I'd give it to Hart. He doesn't have the offensive game of the other two, but the value that he brings and everything else that he does on the court. Like I said, like Clarkson in his prime, yes. I think he's a little bit past that. I mean, tonight threw back the clock and got into the paint and do whatever he wanted offensively. Right. But I don't know if I would go there to that full extent.
Well, remember, Hart was almost an all-star last year. He was a borderline
he was great.
All-star. Yeah,
he was great.
He was
that's
great.
That's why I say that.
Yeah.
I did like what I saw from Drake Powell. He's shooting it better than I think anybody anticipated. He was 3 for 3 from 3. Yegor had a nice second quarter. He can do things in spurts. It's good to see him getting into the paint as well now. He had a nice. In the second quarter, he had a really nice fadeaway jump shot that looked good. And, there's other than that, it's like there's only those certain guys you're looking for. The rest is kind of, when Tyrese Martin's not playing well, it's a problem. When Jalen Wilson's not knocking down shots, it's a problem. And Day'Ron Sharpe got hurt in the third quarter. He pulled a hamstring. He had a nice little bit off the bench. He was doing a good job of getting some offensive rebounds when he came in and Mitch was out. They couldn't stop him in the paint. Karl-Anthony Towns had a problem with Day'Ron Sharpe, and Sharpe got to the basket. So they attacked him nicely, but he's now getting hurt. And this is going to be a long year. There's going to be a lot of nights like this. The Nets lost to the Pistons by 20. They beat Indiana. The Pacers were without everybody. I mean, it was a shell of themselves. If you were to look at that Pacers team versus what they were when they beat the Knicks in 6 to go to the NBA Finals. I mean, it was a completely different roster. So that's the one Nets win, and just got to keep rooting for development and just mosey on to the lottery. I mean, the good thing is for the Nets, they will have a top 5 pick. Right. They will. I don't know what's going to happen in the lottery, but they will be
one
the
of
worst
the
team in the
top 2.
They're going to be they're going to be okay on that front. We'll see what happens in the lottery. But that I feel secure about. Are you ready for the trolling yet, or are we there yet? Or
I think we're there. I mean, I was just gonna say, I remember when the Nets took over New York. I mean, I was wondering when that expired, or did they actually take over New York, or was that kind of like just a quick thing, like the blueprint to success? I'm still waiting for that blueprint, unless it's like a long-term blueprint, like there's like a 20-year plan in there. I don't know, but.
So for the 311 people that are watching right now, I love when you 13. Say things like that because
313
it means
now,
all these years later it annoys you and that it affected you.
So
I mean, like that's fair.
I admit that it annoyed me,
but it shows that it got under your skin and it bothered you. And bringing it up all these years later just imposes the will of what the Nets did do in New York. So yes, they did. They take over the city. No, they did not. Right now, the Knicks are better. Right now, the Nets are not. But
Right.
the fact that you're saying it to the 314 people watching live gives me all the validation I need that what they did to the Knicks bothered
But
you
what does
and all
that
the other fans.
validation do for you? What did that
No, I mean,
validation do?
I mean, we're having. What do you mean? What does it do for
What
me?
does
Like,
that do? Like you got the validation that Nets were relevant for a little while and
no,
they're arrived in the city and it's a rivalry. I've admitted all that, but what does that do for you that
well,
it
I want them to
annoyed me?
win. It doesn't do much on that front. But if we're going to talk about non-basketball topics, that
Yes.
I guess it does something for me there. I wish they could win more games. I mean, that's all. Ultimately, that's what's most important to me. I can't speak for you or what's your value and what you want to see from the Knicks. But for me, I can just speak to the Nets. It's about winning games, right? Like I know
Yeah.
for a lot of Knicks fans, that's maybe more important. I'm not sure. Like I said, I can't speak for them. But for me, to answer your question, winning is the most important.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just giving it back, man. Like there were a lot of times over the last, I mean, it's been 4 years now since the Knicks have been awesome. So 5 years, 4 or 5 years, they had one blip in the radar, a blip in the road. But, other than that, before that, it was bad. I mean, the Nets owned the Knicks and the Nets were, had this super team and the Nets like were supposed to be a dynasty and they talked a lot of trash. The fans talked a lot of trash and put the Knicks down. So you know what? When the shoe's on the other foot, I'm not the type to take the high road. That's all I'm saying. I'm the type to give it back because you know what? You deserve it back because there was a lot of back and forth then and a lot of trash was talked and a lot of names were called towards my way from Nets fans. And, it is what it is. It's just fans being fans. Some people cross the line, they
Yeah.
get blocked. It is what it is. But, it's all in fun. It's all in games. A lot of Nets fans that I've had a lot of battles with over the years were now cool. So it's pretty funny how that works. And one of them, I mean, I do a podcast with, so it's pretty funny.
Well, I think
how,
when
yeah,
the dust settles and
yeah,
getting into the minutia of
right,
back and forth over it, it's really a silly topic.
it is.
At the end of the day, we're all, I'm from New Jersey, but we're all from the tri-state area and care about, you're passionate about your city, you're passionate about your team, so it's all in fun. I get that.
Yeah.
I that it's something you bring up to this day, I think is a win for the Nets and their fan base. Like, I get it. Like, total respect to you bringing it back,
Mm-hmm.
giving Nets fans shit because you're in this priority seat now, and as you should, right? Like, I won't get political, but it's like when one party has power and the other doesn't, the other party gives the other party shit, and then when things don't go one way, it jumps back. I mean, all of this is cyclical. It'll all change. At some point, the Nets will be better than the Knicks again.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I mean, not for not
For a
in the
long
short
time.
term.
Yeah, no.
But
So you
so
got 5 picks, man, for Mikal Bridges. So you're good.
I mean but I mean that is it's a lot of picks. I mean, they got 2027, 2029, 2031.
What did you think
saw
about
one.
Mikal tonight? I know you've been watching Nick games. It's not your first Nick game,
Yeah,
but what did you
no,
think about Mikal in general
I
this
thought
season?
I thought he played within the offense. Wasn't asked to do too much. I don't
Mhm.
think he had one drive himself where he made a shot. But he made his open jumpers, slashed to the basket. Did his thing where he makes shots and then he gyrates his hands to the other team. Yes, we know, Mikal, your arms work. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
I love
It's
it.
like
I love it. I just think
he
it's so
like
funny. It's so
I,
corny that it's funny. You know what I
no,
mean?
I mean, he did it when he was on the Suns. He did it when he was on
Yeah.
when he was.
It's just great. It's
He
just funny.
took it from the San Diego Padres, but it's his gimmick.
Did
It's his
he?
thing. Yeah, it was
San
the
Diego
Padres.
Padres. Is that what they did?
Shouldn't you know about your favorite player? Shouldn't you know about him?
I mean, he's not my favorite player, but I think I don't know what the origins of his celebration is. I don't know the origins of I don't even know what this means from
I don't think he's.
Jalen Brunson. You know what I mean? I
I
don't know
mean,
what the hell that means.
I don't know. I have an educated guess what it means.
What
But
is
I
that?
don't think he's told anybody.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I don't think. I mean, I have a guess, but I don't know. I don't think he's
Yeah.
actually told anybody. But yeah, I mean, Mikal was. I mean, it was such a blowout that he was good early and he was fine.
Yeah,
In the
good times.
I'll say it every time. I have no problem repeating this because I think it's important to repeat.
Yeah.
But that was a good trade for the Nets, like, no doubt. You saw
Good
one of
trade
the
for
guys
both.
on this. You saw
Yeah.
one of the guys today, and Drake Powell play had 15 points, was 3 for 3 from 3.
And they lost by 112 points.
But that was
so
his,
great.
was his third NBA game.
Yeah. Yeah.
So maybe in 3 years he's better than Mikal Bridges. Maybe, could be.
Maybe.
So it's
I
worth
don't
the
know.
lottery gamble. Like, so let's say that Mikal was on this Nets team, but they lose to the Knicks by 27, 28. Like, Let's say Mikal was on the Nets right now and they played the Knicks. What would
I
the
mean,
score be?
it's
They'd
like a
still get their ass
different
kicked.
timeline. It's like a different timeline of events, like a back to the
But
future thing.
yes.
Because if they don't trade Mikal, they try
that's
to
what-
build
but
up the team a little more, and they're not going to be
but-
this team with Mikal on it. You know? What
Yeah,
I'm
but the
saying?
point was they were going nowhere with Mikal. They're going
Mhm.
now. They're not going anywhere this season, but they
Right.
have direction. Now you might get upset.
They have a
There's lot of people-
plan. They have a plan.
Now
Yeah.
a lot of people are upset at Sean Marks, like, oh, these picks aren't good enough, or they didn't do well. Like, first of all, it's been 9 games. I mean, come on, everybody. Like, we need to relax. I think a major problem that Net fans have, and I mean this, it's like, so Zach Lowe does a podcast.
Does he?
Yeah, and he had someone else on. Fuck, what's his name? Another national guy.
O'Connor? I don't know. I'm
no, damn it. What's his name? They were talking together. He's been in like multiple different places.
Whatever, yeah.
It's
a generic NBA basketball podcast.
No, guy. I mean, you would know the name.
Of course. But
no, I do want to Google this because I think it's important.
Well, we'll just sit here and wait while you Google it. Go ahead. I'm just spamming people with the live link right now, so it's all good. Trying to get those views up.
Who did he have on?
I don't know.
Who did he have on?
Does anybody know who he had on? If you want to leave
Howard Beck.
Howard Beck. I hate that guy. He has me blocked.
Okay, so he had Howard Beck on, and this is what happens.
He has half of Nick's Twitter blocked, by the way, just so you know. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway,
so they're talking about like the Nets, and they're talking about the rookies. And Howard says something like, "I talked to some guy who was watching the game, who was from another team, and he was asked him which of the Nets rookies got them interested." And he's like, "That guy didn't say one of them." And so what happens is he says that, and I think as Net fans, we get so juiced up if any national sports hosts are talking about our team now. Then we take that as gospel. Like, well, Zach Lowe and Howard Beck were shitting on the Nets. Sean Marks must suck. And it's like relax. It's been 9 games. Jaeger has actually improved. And you can't look at the box score with this game and be like, well, they lost by 40. It's not important, right? Like, it just doesn't matter in the scheme of their growth. Powell played well. Jaeger played a little bit better. Like, that's the things you need to look for. Sorry, it sucks. It sucks. I'm upset. I'm visibly upset. I hate this. I actually was sick to my stomach looking at that score. I was sick to my stomach looking at that score and thinking of all the Knicks fans that are happy. It makes me actually sick inside.
I'm just gonna sit here and smile.
I mean, it does.
I just keep smiling.
I just hate it. But it's it's why moments like the Pacers
on the
winning
line
last year are so amazing, right? Like,
I thought you were gonna go like Nets losing, like the foot on the line, like I said with Durant. Like that's why that was so hard.
That sucks.
Yeah.
And to answer your question from before, the Nets had a very good team that just could not put it together for non-basketball reasons.
And basketball reasons. I mean, it was a little both. Health also. You know what I mean? It was a lot of things. It was
let's say, Alex, that Kyrie and Harden never do any of this madness and they stick together.
Right.
I mean, maybe I can't say for sure, but three of them are all still playing at a very high level.
Right.
Like,
they are.
Harden's not the same player.
Kyrie got the Mavs
Durant's
to the finals.
Still playing really well. I mean, Kyrie's hurt now, but he
got the Mavs to the finals.
Yeah, that's
crazy.
Dynamic. The last time the Nets beat the Knicks, Durant was hurt, but Kyrie went for like 41 at Barclays.
Jeez.
And that was it.
That was the end of that was all she wrote.
Is that the only troll one you had?
I mean, for now, yeah, but they'll come up.
Disappointed.
But I wanted to compare, like, so you're frustrated with the Nets fans and overreacting to the first week or so of the season, and with the way the podcasters and stuff like that are commenting on the game. It reminds me exactly. It's a little, well, not exactly, because it's a little different because Sean Marks has been around. The Jordy Fernandez is in his second season. It reminded me of the Jets early in the season, New York Jets football. Start off 0-7, and after 4 or 5 games, they're 0-5. They blow a couple games. Everybody's not everybody, but there's a lot of those dollar store podcasters and sports radio hosts that are saying that you got to fire Aaron Glenn. He's not going to make it through the season. You got to get rid of Muji. You got to get rid of these guys. They can't hack it. Like, can you guys give them a chance? Like, yes, it hasn't looked good, but you got to give them a chance. Let them just see what they can do. They weren't even here like they were here for the draft, but they weren't in the season for the whole offseason, and they didn't scout all these rookies. Like they just get dropped in here and they got to do a draft. Like and they hit pretty well on their draft picks this year. Mason Taylor looks like a player, so it's just they have some guys there, so you got to give these guys a chance. And now you go 0-7. You win a game. You trade two of your best players on defense. You get a bunch of first-round picks. You win again. Now you won 2 in a row. Now you got some momentum. You just got to give the guys a chance. I know football is different than basketball, and it takes forever to rebuild in the NBA, like forever. So, it's different, but it's the same idea where it's you lose a couple of games and you look incompetent, and then the fan base explodes and says, what are we doing? You have to stick to the plan. You have to drive through it as an organization and get to the other side and give them an actual chance, because you keep firing coaches. You keep redoing everything. I know that's not what the Nets have been doing, but it's what the Jets have been doing. If you keep restarting an organization, you keep listening to the fans, like Marv Levy used to say, the ex-coach of the Bills, you're going to be sitting with the fans. And that's just what it is. And sometimes fans are right, like with Adam Gase. Like, what are we doing hiring this nut job? But sometimes they're wrong. Like Tibbs, like me and a lot of fans said they need to fire Tibbs after that Cam Thomas game and with the Nets, the comeback, the 30-point comeback a couple of years ago. There was rumors that Tibbs was getting fired after that game, and I thought it was justified. In year 2 in Tibbs, and he looked like crap. You know what I'm saying? The team was not responding. They were the 4 seed the year before, and they were terrible. And after starting off 5-1, and they basically not collapsed, but that's a lot of losses. So but cooler heads prevailed, and the Knicks ended up being very successful under Tibbs. And yeah, they fired him, and yeah, Mike Brown looks good, but even after Mike Brown, they lose to the Bucks, without 3 rotation players in Milwaukee, and fans are just like, what are we doing? The radio hosts, the podcasters, the people here and there, like, what are we doing? This team is not good enough. We got to trade for Giannis. Relax. The Knicks have now won 4 in a row. Everything's okay. They're going to be fine. This team is loaded, and Mike Brown is a good coach that's been around the block. The Knicks will be fine. It's about the playoffs.
I agree.
Sorry.
I agree. I agree. Like that's why when
they get all that out. Okay. So
that's why when they were 2 and 3, I said,
yeah,
they're gonna win a bunch of games at home in a row.
Yeah.
I mean, if they lost these like last 4 games and they were 2 and 8, I'd be different. Like, well, there's something happening. Something's
wrong. Yes.
Something's very wrong. But
they're undefeated at home.
They're just not. Just like there's just a different level of talent. Washington has more pieces than the Nets. I think that's pretty obvious. They got a center, and Alex Sarr, and they've got their veterans in McCollum and Middleton. They've got way more talent. But if you're watching this game, it's just 2 different levels of talent between the Nets and the Knicks. And to go back to what you were saying, it's only 9 games, and we haven't really seen Danny Wolf. We saw them start Saraf, and now they want to get him more development. So he goes to the G League, and he's the MVP of the game, whatever that means, right? He's 21 points, 7 assists. Like, he has a dominant G League game. Okay, well, it's the G League. So I get it. But then at the same time, it's like, well, that's what you need. He's got to go there, and he had a great game. Danny Wolf's had a really good G League game. So they're developing there. It's just going to take a long ass time. And if these guys aren't, if we go into next season and these guys suck, fire Sean Marks on the spot. I get it. But I can't react to his draft picks 9 games in. I've watched Jaeger Dielman every second of the season. He's getting better. He is definitely getting better. His shot is decent. He gets into the paint a little bit more. He is getting better. If this is how he is at the end of the season, it's a total failure. If he continues to improve, and in game 60, Noah Clowney, Dielman, Saraf, like they've got a little juice going, and you're feeling good, and they're losing, but it's fun. Then they made progress, and they end up with the second pick in the draft, and they get the kid from Kansas, they get one of the kids from Duke, and then they add him next year. Like that's just what this is. I mean, this is what this is. Like, lottery night's gonna be a big one. It's another big one. And you just kind of got to pray for that. And respect to the Knicks fans that did have to last through it. I get it. Good for you guys. You're in a much better place.
In Sean Marks' defense, like, you have 5 first-round picks, you take 5 swings at the plate. All you got to do is hit 1 home run. Like, that's it. You know what I mean? If one of these guys becomes a legitimate star, which I don't know, we don't know yet. I mean, Dioman's been getting better, as you've been saying. He's got a great jump shot, better than we thought. You never know with these guys. Like, so many guys that are stars in this league started off poorly in their first season, like Jimmy Butler, James Harden. Like, there's a lot of guys that weren't good right out of the gate. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that they're going to be these guys, but you never know.
No,
You know what I'm saying?
It's just too much. It's too much. And but I understand the frustration because you have to sit here and you have to watch it. And you said there are rookies that will put up big numbers early, and they aren't some of them yet. So it's frustrating. It's frustrating. I'm just happy that, I like for example, on Friday evening, the Nets lost to the Pistons. The Nets were up 5 in the second quarter. Detroit then went up 5 after 2. And then it was a similar third quarter where the game was done, right? All of a sudden, the Pistons were up 21 with like 4 minutes left in the third. And you're just like, what happened? But I could at least watch it in peace and enjoyment. And I actually like watching the end of these games because I'm seeing these guys play and develop because I fucking love the Nets that much. But this game tonight is just like, let's keep the ball moving. Like, give me, I'm going to the Raptors game on Tuesday. Toronto obviously has way more talent than the Nets do.
Obviously, going to see RJ Barrett and Emmanuel quickly. That's the reason why you're going to the game. Obviously.
It is not. It is not. But I can just watch that and be like, okay,
damn,
if they lose, no, I'm not. I'm just gonna keep it real. They are not the reason I'm going. No, it's just it's what was Andy Cohen? It's just like different.
I don't give a fuck.
Humor. Just different kind of humor. This is next level humor where I'm just
Andy Kaufman or
Andy Kaufman is what I'm trying to say.
I thought you say Andy Dick. Maybe that's what you're thinking of.
No, not Andy Dick. But yeah, it's just I know what you're doing, obviously.
Yes.
But no, I'm not going to see them.
By the way, did you see Brandon Ingram slam that water bottle down and hit some guy? I don't know if he was a cameraman or a ball boy or something. He was sat down on the bench and threw a water bottle down. And it bounced up and hit the guy right in the face, like literally right in the face. Yeah. And he didn't react. He didn't even say sorry. He didn't be like, "Oh shit, my bad." He just sat down and just was angry. Like, it's one thing to throw it and hit the guy in the face by accident. It's another thing to just be a total ass about it. It just totally what's the word I'm looking for? Whatever. Just a total like a microcosm of his entire career, where it's just like you just don't give a fuck.
So I'm out there. I did not see it, so I can't give an opinion on it.
Well, you should look it up. I'm sure you'll find it anyway.
But I want to read this for you.
Yes,
I'm going to give you an NBA player. I'm going to give you blind stats. Okay. His rookie year, he averaged 9.3 points per game, 3.2 assists. His second year, his scoring went down to 8.2 points per game, and his assist was about the same at 3.3. His first year in the league, he played 21.8 minutes. His second year, he played 17.9 minutes per game. Do you know who I'm talking about?
What year? Can I get a year?
No.
Oh, then I have no idea.
I'll give you the year. 2018, 2019, he was a rookie. That was he averaged 9 and 3, and then his second year, 8 and 3. Then his third year, 12 and 3.
I have no idea.
Jalen Brunson.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, there you go. That's a good one. Good one. That was really good.
I'm just
some guys are late bloomers, man. Like Oladipo was a late bloomer until he hurt himself. He was like, he was on his way to being a star.
He was the second pick in the draft.
I know, but he didn't start off like he. Well, I guess he did. Who was I thinking? No, because he wasn't he was good, and then he had a real resurgence. I don't know. I'm trying to think of maybe I'm
glad you brought that up. I was on LinkedIn today, and you know how it says when people are open to work.
Yeah,
I couldn't believe it said Marcus Pfizer, and he
said
on the thing,
Oladipo.
No, Marcus Pfizer, and it was open to work.
He was jacked in college. He was like a man amongst boys in college.
But I was I'm not used to seeing NBA bust be open to work.
Right.
But I mean,
they didn't make a lot of money. Well, they made money, but it wasn't life-changing money like they do now.
We had a short stint in the league. Obviously didn't pan out. I don't know his exact career earnings, but it was just weird to see Marcus Pfizer open to work.
Yeah. It's kind of sad.
It was just jarring.
Yeah. Does he want to be an intern on Bad Weather Fans?
I don't think he wants to be an intern. Maybe a guest. Be an interesting guest.
He would be. He never played with the Nets, right? Did he?
I think he was the same year as Kenyon. I think that was the same draft.
Yeah.
I think he was the 4th pick in that draft. if I want to guess.
Yeah, he was a big, like he was like he was like literally was like a man amongst boys in college. I remember he was, yeah,
Iowa, I
6'9",
think.
260. Yeah, Bulls, and then the Bucks, and then the New Orleans NOK. Let's see. Yeah, he was out of the league at 27, 6 years in the league.
Yeah.
So and that was in 06. So yeah, I mean, any money he made obviously is not life changing. So that's sad. Hopefully he lands on his feet. It's a pretty sad story, man. Thanks. Brought down the podcast.
Well, I didn't.
It was pretty,
That wasn't my intention. I just think when you see an NBA player saying "open for work" on LinkedIn, it's jarring. You don't think?
You want to talk
is?
about Delonte West? I mean, he just.
Well, that's horrible.
Really
That's
yeah.
I don't know how.
Very sad.
Yeah.
He got picked up again. Like with some. It's just.
Well, the addiction is a serious. I mean,
yeah, and it's not like people haven't tried to help him either. You had Mark Cuban try to help him. Other ex-players try to help him, and he just, when you don't want help, there's nothing you can do. He tried. People have tried. So
yeah.
Anyway, that's really sad. But
yeah, it's horrible.
I put out a poll. Here, talk for a second so I can find it. But about like the most recent trades in Knicks history, recent Knicks trades, and which one was the biggest steal. Where the hell is it? Okay. This is a terrible job by me bringing this up right now.
So not Knicks and Nets, just Knicks. No, just trades that went in the Knicks' favor.
Yes. And which one was the best? Oh, here it is. Which recent Knicks trade was the best? Reddish and a pick for Hart, RJ and IQ for OG Anunoby, Marcus Morris for a pick that ended up becoming Emmanuel quickly, and 5 picks for Mikal Bridges. What do you think won?
I mean, it can't be the Mikal one.
I just threw that in there because it was, funny.
It was like, come on.
It's really between the first two: Reddish and a pick for Hart, or
RJ, I think it's the OG one.
Yeah, that one won 57%. Reddish for Hart was number 2 at 33%. Mikal was third and 7%, and Marcus Morris for a pick was 3%. That's probably because some fans just don't remember that's the pick that they had him for a half a season. Yeah. They stole him from the Spurs. He signed with the Spurs, and then the Knicks swooped in before it was official, and they offered him a little more money and a chance to play more minutes and be the man for a little bit. And he came in on the Knicks and played really well and left a lasting impression on Knicks fans. And hit that game-winning shot versus the Mavericks in the Porzingis revenge game at the Garden when RJ spun on Luka and dunked it, and like that was a crazy game. That was like the best game of that season. And they ended up trading him in the middle of the season and got a first-round pick. I mean, they traded it back and forth in the draft, one of those Leon Rose specials. But that pick ended up, being Emmanuel Quickly, who ended up being part of the OG Anunoby trade. So those little moves like that are what builds a franchise. It really does. And none of this happens right now without the Kristaps Porzingis trade. And that, connects back to earlier in the show when you're talking about Nets fans going crazy over early in the season. You don't know. Everybody said the Knicks lost the trade in the Porzingis trade, but now, obviously the Mavericks ended up getting to the finals, but they ended up with Luka. It wasn't because of the Porzingis trade. So it's really a trade. Sometimes it takes years to see the results. That's all I have to say.
Well, then couldn't you say for Dallas that they won on their side too if they got there? Like inevitably got them to that direction.
Yeah, but they were talking about how it was a fleece for the Mavericks because they got Trey Burke and Tim Hardaway Jr. and Kristaps Porzingis, and those guys weren't there for that finals run. You know what I mean? And
right, but Quickly wasn't there for the Knicks runs, so it's the same thing.
Yeah, but Quickly wasn't from the Porzingis trade. The Porzingis trade, though, cleared the deck to get the Knicks to where they are. If they kept adding pieces with Porzingis, they would have been mid forever. They wouldn't.
Right. No, I agree. I agree. But inevitably it did. But however Dallas got there, they overcame it maybe.
Right.
But they got to the finals.
They did.
They did select Luka, which obviously, they traded for him. I mean, they had the stones to make the trade. So that was the trade. Like Trey's a very good NBA player. Luka's better.
Yeah. And then they traded Luka.
Well, then they traded Luka. I mean, that's a different. Yeah,
we forgot about that. I forgot about that momentarily. I'm like, wait, he's on.
Well, because it was the worst trade in NBA history.
The worst. That is one trade you could say that was the worst trade that right away was a terrible trade. That's the outlier.
I mean, when I first saw that trade, my first thought was like, Sean Marks, what are you doing? Like, offer all the Mikal picks. And then when you found out they weren't negotiating, When that trade happened, for a split second, I thought it was the Nets. Like for the splittest of seconds.
Yeah,
That's a word. For like just a
Split. It is now. I
microsecond.
mean, yeah.
I was like, because it was at 12:14 at night. For some reason, I was up. That came through on my phone. That will probably be the most memorable tweet. Well, second most memorable tweet from Shams I can ever remember. Well,
First one was
third.
Durant. Yeah, third.
The
Is there
Durant
another-
and Kyrie one is probably first.
Yeah,
The Mikel trade is second.
but
That
one of
one
the
was-
trades of Durant getting traded or
or
Harden
just
getting
signing him.
traded?
But the thing about Durant was you kind of knew like it was
coming,
a
yeah.
thing. I'm not
You
saying
were
it
in
was a
denial a
must,
little bit, though. You were in denial a little bit because you didn't want to believe that it was actually going to happen. You know,
but it was an
yeah.
option. Like it was on the table.
Didn't
It was
come
like,
out of the blue.
yeah.
It wasn't like the
Didn't
Sauce
come out.
Gardner trade that came out of left field,
Or the
Like,
Mikel
holy shit.
trade.
Yeah, or the Mikel
Which
trade.
by the
Yeah.
way, you know, Anthony Puccio tweeted about the Nets, and you had a comment on it saying something like, "These are this is why you don't trade lottery tickets for grown men." And then Sauce is traded, and you're all for it. I thought that was a little hypocritical.
Well, because the come on, it's completely different. It's
I thought
different.
I see a lot of similarities.
Well, number one, the Jets traded Sauce Gardner for 2 first-round picks that are recent in the next 2 years, this year and next year.
Okay.
Mikal Bridges trade
Still-
and the picks, and also it's a different kind of a draft. NFL drafts, you can get stars in the 4th round.
Would you
So
agree
it's a different kind of draft.
Would you
Number
agree? Let me
two.
just say this real fast. But would you agree for the Nets? I would personally rather have the Knicks picks in 2029 and 2031 as opposed to now, because I think I think the Knicks then right now I know that that pick's going to be very good. I think at least in the future those picks have more value for the Nets because it's a little further down the line and maybe the Knicks have descended by then.
Yes, but you think about how long down the road that's going to be. Let's say it's in 2030. There's a pick you said. 20 what?
2029, 2031.
Okay,
2027, 2029, 2031. Those are the three
left.
left.
So 29 and 31. Let's say you get one guy in 29, one guy in 31. By the time it's 2033 and 2035, 2036, 2037, these guys, if they hit, then they're going to be stars. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like right now, you're already saying like, be patient with these guys. Now you got like almost a decade down the road before these guys, if you hit on the picks, are going to be good. With Sauce Gardner, there's a first-round pick this year and a first-round pick next year. Those guys can be stars next season. It's the NFL. It's a different game, and it's a different sport. And first-round picks in the NFL, you can get Lamar Jackson with a 32nd pick in the draft. You know what I'm saying? The last pick in the first round. You can get Mahomes in the middle of the first round. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the NFL. It's different than the NBA. Yes, you have your outliers like Jokic and other players in the second round. Like,
I agree.
Like, you know, whatever.
I agree that those 2 first-round picks have more value than the 5 that were given up in the Mikel trade. If you're trying to do like next level math and comparing picks from one league,
math. It's
one league
basic.
From one league to the next, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I would agree with you. I would say that the Sauce Gardner haul back is more than the Mikel one based on just the value of what first round picks are in the NFL. It's just different that you could get somebody really good in the first. Easier to find somebody in the first round that can be a difference maker. I would agree with that. Where I don't agree is it's still lottery tickets, and there's no way to deny.
Sure.
That. Like
well,
that's still the same thing. They're still the same. Like they could be bad, they could be good. Now true. I think it's a little more. I think in terms of value back, it's more. But like for the Jets, it's very similar. Were the Jets going anywhere with Sauce Gardner?
No, they weren't.
Were the Nets going anywhere with Mikal Bridges?
They were not.
Did the Nets make the right decision to get 5 first-round draft picks back to try to and got more value for him from the Knicks than any other team would give them?
I mean, yeah, it definitely was the right move.
Did you just get 2 first-round picks from the Colts for a guy that's a good cornerback, probably on the top 10 in the league?
Got a little overrated. He's very good though. Very good player.
He's a good player, better than most corners in the league. But
he's more of a Sauce is more of a celebrity than a star player on the field. You know what I mean? I'll put it that way.
Right. Like,
he's really good. He's not Revis, and that's not his fault. You know what I'm saying? Revis is the second best cornerback in the history of the NFL.
Right, and he'll get compared to him because he was a Jet.
Exactly.
So there's a natural comparison. So the Colts, though, are a team that's 9-2 now, or 8-2 after their win today, and they're thinking to themselves, "We're close.
Right.
Let's get somebody that can help us take us over the top, even if we're giving up so much in return, it just to me there's similarities there. I can't believe the Colts did that based on. I just think that's a lot.
Well,
And
he's
I think
also
that's
locked up. The Jets extended him before the season, so that helps for them. So they're thinking like, we got Sauce now, who's really young, and he's basically our first round pick next year. You know what I mean? That's what they're thinking. But at the same time, I mean, to give up 2 firsts Daniel Jones has been awesome. Don't get me wrong, but he's still Daniel Jones at some
there's
point.
a scary fact that he could go back to being what you don't know.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
scary.
So
he doesn't have.
But it's sports.
But
listen, the Colts can go on a run and win a Super Bowl, and then who gives a shit about the first round picks?
Exactly.
You know I mean?
It's the same. That to me is where I think it's just that's where I see the similarities.
Right.
That's where I was funny when you were like laughing at the Nets with the lottery tickets, and then you were happy that the Jets were doing what I appeared to be the same
it was more tongue in cheek. You know what I'm saying with Booch? Like I like busting his balls, but it's just
that was more against Net fans, I think, than Booch.
Yeah,
I don't know. I had a laugh on that, so I wanted to bring it up to you. And I think I did a good job displaying.
You did.
I think I won that debate.
I don't know. What do you guys think? Leave in the comments. What do you think? Who do you think won? I've always wanted to say that.
Yeah, I actually would be.
Leave it in the comments. What do you think, guys?
Interested to see that.
Who won the debate?
Wow,
we're up to like 600 people now on here live. Thanks for listening. Bad Weather fans are
all
available
Net fans
everywhere. All Net fans. This is all the Nets fans that are in existence. Come on, we need one more. We're at $5.99. But Bad Weather fans available on YouTube, podcasts, Apple, Spotify, everywhere. We've had great guests like Richard Jefferson a couple times, Kerry Kittles, Chris Childs, Ron Artest, Meta World Peace, Tracy McGrady.
That also
Channing
is your Twitter page pumping this out. So I would assume the majority would be
Connor Hughes, shout out to him. Good times.
Ian Begley.
Ian Begley. No, we haven't had Ian Begley.
Just make sure you're paying.
I've been on Ian Begley's. I've been on his show, but he hasn't been on us.
Making sure you're paying attention.
The schedule hasn't worked out, And so, but who else? Jake Fisher, we've had on. We had some great guests. Great guests, great stories, great times.
What's the
we laughed, we cried. What's going on?
What's the I want to see the Nets and Knicks schedule for this week because it's Sunday.
Honestly, I think the Knicks are going to win all the games and the Nets are going to lose all the games. I think that's what's my prediction for the schedule. If we go win, loss, it's just going to be win. No, honestly,
the Nets are 1-9. I think 1-8.
That's rough, man. The Nets though. It's funny because last year is the year that you wanted to be 1-9, and this year is the year you wanted to see some progress.
I'll push back on that a little bit because you want to see progress and development of the players.
Yeah,
but having a high pick is not a bad thing.
No,
and I know we talked
Cooper
about
flag
this.
thing. It's the draft.
Yeah,
I mean this year you got Boozer, you got some other guys there, but it's
still
not
loaded. They're still game changing guys. You
For
want
sure.
one of these picks.
Yeah,
you want one of these picks. They need one of these picks.
No, even drafts where you don't think that you have great players available, there's still like a Jaylen Brown. You know what I'm saying? Like when the Celtics
Jaylen Brown was
the
third
like,
pick in the draft.
I know, but like it wasn't like holy shit, Jaylen Brown's coming out of the, you know what I mean? It was like,
right,
you know
and he became an NBA player.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
You know what
I mean, I remember well because he was a Nets pick.
Yeah,
that was traded.
Just so you know, Jack said, Nick fan here. Shout out to Jack, big Jets fan, good dude. So just wanted to put that up there.
How do you say Jack's last name?
Fallonsby.
We'll see if Nick Nader is listening. Nick Nader is listening. What's your favorite soup? We'll see if you're still listening.
Yeah, let's see if Nick Nader is still on here. Yeah, he gave us a comment before. I put it up there. The three will cancel each other out in terms of 6-man. We were talking about Deuce McBride, Jordan Clarkson, and Josh Hart, how they all could win 6-man of the year, in my opinion, if they had their own team. Mike disagreed. And Nick Nader said that 3 will cancel each other out in terms of 6-man. So what do you guys think? Let us know. But anyway.
Yeah, no, they're no, the Knicks have a good bench. There's I really wanted Noah Clowney to have an awesome game tonight because I've been super thrilled with what I've seen from him for the last couple of games. He did not offensively. He did have the one play where he spun to the basket and Landry Shamet was trying to be a tough guy on him and he said, fuck this. And he bullied him in the paint and had that little layup. But, it's when Noah falls in love with the 3 too much. It's like, just keep driving it to the basket. But he had a nice block. He had a couple nice. He had 2 blocks in the game. That's why I was just so happy he wasn't hurt in the loss to the Pistons where he came up limping towards the end of the first half. And I'm just like, if he's out and Yegor doesn't play, like now I'm looking at last year's Nets. That was last year net vibes. Like they're losing and I have no one to look forward to. Now it's at least some of the younger players. The Clowney was hurt a lot of last year, and I'll be really curious to see what the Nets do with Saraf, Traore, and Wolf, and how long they keep them in the G League and what their plan is. Because now it looks like Day'Ron Sharp had a hamstring injury, so you're going to be down another big. You need to bring up, I think, Wolf, because you need. I'm not saying he's a true center, right? Like he's not the kind of rebounder that Day'Ron is, but you got to bring somebody up, and you might as well be him. So I know they want to keep developing him there, but
that's tough.
We'll see what they do.
But I understand the fans' frustration, Nets fans' frustration to give, not that I want to, be nice to Nets fans at all, because I hate most Nets fans and the Nets, but to get 5 first-round picks and like 3 of them are in the G League, it's kind of tough. I know
it's frustrating.
I know, like it's hard. It's easier said than done. Like Jordi Fernandez has got to win some games, or just got to put a productive team on the floor that can score 90 to 100 points. You can't just roll out a G League team, But at the same time, I get Nets fans being like, "Yo, what the fuck?" And you see like VJ on the Sixers crushing it. You see other rookies playing well, and you're like, why couldn't we get one of these guys? I know Yegor is there and he's doing okay, and he's growing, as you were saying, and developing. But still, it's got to be frustrating for Nets fans to see that kind of stuff, So I don't blame them. But at the same time, who gives a shit? Knicks are going to the finals.
Well, we'll see if they do. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
They're still going to have to get through the East, and the East has played better.
They have.
So I just want to look at the standings right now. I'm bringing it up.
Bring it up. Bulls are the surprise team. I know they lost a couple games now since the Knicks beat them at the Garden last Sunday, but they're going to be a good team. They're going to be in the playoffs. They're going to be a team to that's going to not going to be an easy out. I'll put it that way.
Well, I'll say this. I've seen now the Nets lose to the Pistons, the Cavs, the Knicks, the 76ers, the Hawks, the Hornets. They beat the Pacers. I won't even go through the Western Conference teams because it doesn't matter to this conversation. But I would say the team I saw that would strike the most fear in me as a Knicks fan was the Pistons. They look the best to me.
And they're not afraid of the Knicks. They are not afraid of the Knicks.
Cade was great. Jalen Duren is a fucking monster. And they were doing this without Tobias Harris and Jaden Ivey, who's hurt. And I would just say that Cunningham looked really good. He was probably the most impressive player I've seen so far against the Nets. He looked really good.
Yeah,
he looked really good.
And Cade Cunningham, another one of those players that started off slow in his first year.
He was the first pick in the draft too. So think about the expectations that were on him.
Right. Let's see. Pull up his stats. First year in the league as the number 1 pick. What do you think his stats were?
Points per game. The number 1 pick, and the Pistons were horrible. Those Pistons teams were.
That's what they were like. What the Nets are now. Yeah,
they were like so. But he was probably putting up numbers because they just somebody had to score. 15.6,
17.4.
Yeah.
But now he's up to 25, 26 points a game, and he's a star now.
He's impacting games.
Right.
It's now not just points. He's winning basketball games.
Right. And he's only 24.
The Nets are that bad. The Nets are that bad. The Nets are one of those teams.
Yeah.
They're that bad. They're the youngest team in the NBA. We're watching a development team happen. Half the guys are rooting for is in the G League. I mean, it is they've bottomed out, man. I told you though, when we did this podcast, you're like, they'll be better than you think. I was like, I don't know, man. I think they suck.
I was right last year. I was wrong this year. Last year I nailed it, but this year I got a little cocky. I made the same prediction I did last year where I said they'd start off good and then try to dump everybody to tank, and that's what they did, but they didn't tank enough. So they ended up with, Doyman, which is fine. But this year they're actually,
you got to remember too.
I said the same thing would happen and it didn't.
Dude, the lottery, the teams that won last year, none of them were the bottom 5. Like the lottery is not. You could be like they could have this kind of year and be and still have not the best pick. I mean, it just is what it is.
Well, and also like double side of that, if that makes any sense. In 2019, the Knicks bottomed out to try to get Zion or John Morant, ended up with RJ Barrett, the third pick. And the Pelicans and the Grizzlies didn't even tank. They won like 30 games each. You know what I mean? So it doesn't matter. Like being the worst team in the NBA just guarantees a top 5 pick, which is pretty solid. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's pretty solid getting a top 5 pick. Like at least you get that. But, it's just funny because, even now you think the Knicks probably were best off getting RJ Barrett because he was a fan favorite. He was a good player, won a lot of games for the Knicks, was a really, really good player. Wasn't a star, but he was a really, really good player, and ended up packaging him and Emmanuel quickly for OG Anunoby, who should be an all defensive player, borderline all-star, difference maker. The Knicks have
the
taken
roster
off, got him
perfectly.
Right. But if you ended up with Zion or John Morant,
different direction,
your team is a completely different team. You're in the abyss. You know what I'm
and
saying?
Maybe,
so
honestly, maybe Durant and Kyrie sign. Maybe that attracts them. It could.
But also maybe Zion doesn't go through this crap. Maybe he was ushered out of the lottery when the Pelicans won the lottery because he was so looking forward to being a Knick. So I don't know. We'll never know, honestly, until he writes a book one day or goes on a podcast. No one writes books anymore. They just go on somebody's podcast, go on All the Smoke and tell the whole story like down the road.
And I'll for anybody that does it, I think everybody should have a podcast. I really
why not?
That.
Speak your mind. Yeah.
This is because this is not about any of this, but I don't like when people are like, "Oh, everybody has a podcast." Like everybody has a podcast, and I said, "It's like, so does everybody have resumes that they hand out? Should you not have a resume?
Right.
Like if you're an owner of a business, do you not have a website? Should you not have a website? Like I think people need to stop looking at it in a different way and utilize it for how you want. Doesn't have to be the most popular thing in the world, but don't think about it like, oh, it's another podcast. No, it's something that you can use for your advantage in business and life and expressing yourself. And there's nothing wrong with creating one. So
no, absolutely not. And the only people who really say it's crazy how everybody has a podcast are people who wish they had a podcast and people who are in sports radio that think that, people who have a podcast are, I guess wannabes and are trying to intrude on their space and take away their ratings and things like that. But nowadays, the only people that get hired on the radio are guys who have worked in behind the scenes for 20 years, making $20,000 a year, and then get lucky, or people who have a podcast with 100,000 followers and get hired. I'm watching NBA TV now, and they got rid of the whole studio crew, and they got some guy, Dom2K, shout out to him. I don't know who he is, but he's got a microphone like this one on NBA TV talking about sports highlights. You know what I'm saying? Like the whole world has gone upside down. I mean, I can be like, I don't like the content because I'm used to NBA TV, seeing Byron Scott and Steve Smith and all this fun stuff and seeing all the stats and everything like that. But that's just me. Maybe that's what people like. I don't know.
I wasn't even thinking about it from a sports perspective. I was thinking about it from an anything perspective too.
Right.
But you say that, yes, it's true. Yes, I do think the ability to have a microphone for anybody has given people reps too, because I think in the past, if you couldn't do a podcast, how could you get better at whatever it is? Like it's hard to just be like, all right, I'm going to start talking in front of nothing and broadcast it to nowhere. It's a little more difficult. But if something that you can use that can help you,
for sure. Why not?
Why not? I got a text message. And I had fear. Anytime I get a text message at like 10, I'm like, what the hell's going on? But it was you. So I feel better about that. But yeah, no, I just think it's something that's really important to utilize and use. And don't be discouraged if you want to do it. I was just thinking about like if somebody was unemployed and looking for a job, right? Like I had this idea. I guess we'll go off the rails a little bit.
Let's hear it.
Like let's say you were looking for a job, and you know how they tell everybody when you're looking for a job, you got to network.
Of course,
you've got to reach
half
out
the
to
battle.
people.
Maybe 75% of the battle. Yeah.
You've got to. So I thought was like, why not reach out to people, but do it in a podcast? And that way, when you're like, let me get the the CEO of this company that maybe I would want to go on. So instead of like sending an email like, hey, here's my resume. This is why I'm a good fit for this job. If there's ever an opening, like I'd love to have. Do you have 20 minutes where we could just talk? How about if you say, hey, I'm doing a podcast where I want to learn about industry leaders. I'm really interested in what your company's doing and the growth that you've had. I'd love to have you on my podcast. So then you get that person on your show. Then in 4 months, you know how all this works. When that job opening happens, you email the guy, and it's an easy connection because he was on your podcast.
Right.
Like, what? You
Right.
could use a podcast to help you get a job.
Yeah. I
How about
mean,
that idea?
we've done that. We use this podcast to get a shift on WFAN. We
Yeah.
hosted a show on
Yeah,
WFAN
we
because
couldn't
of
have
this
done without
podcast.
it.
Yeah,
But
no way
that's
we get
all.
on there without
That's
it.
all. I'm passionate about the topic.
We've used this podcast to talk to famous NBA players that we've interviewed. We ran them down the
That's
list
true.
before between Channing Frye and Tracy McGrady and Chris Childs and Kerry Kittles and Ian Eagle. Like, we never do that without this podcast,
Right.
you know? And we've both been on SNY. I've been on NBA radio, and like on Fox 5, like all this stuff because of the podcast. I've had a Twitter account, I've had a blog.
Yeah.
Nothing took me to this step. Not that I'm not patting myself on the back. Nothing took me to those heights without this podcast and Bad Weather Fans.
Yeah.
It's available everywhere. So please subscribe, like, and subscribe. If you want to hear more of this, we have a lot of great interviews from the past and episodes.
So we can do a reset here as we've got a lot of more people joining us. If you're just tuning in, Knicks destroyed the Nets tonight, 134-98, I believe was the final score. This game was over pretty fast. Knicks were up 18 going in. It was 40-22 after one. Nets put up a lot of points in the second quarter, cut it to 15. It was 77 62 after two. And then in the third quarter, I missed the first 60 seconds, and I saw that the score ballooned to 18. And then I sat down, and all of a sudden it kept ballooning. It kept going up. I don't know what the highest pointer was.
Yeah.
Maybe it was at some point hovering between 37 and 38. I think it's the highest it got or whatever it was. But
at the end of the third quarter, it was 112-79 at the end of the third quarter.
Right, so that's third. I mean, the game, you watching it was like watching just two teams that should not have been on the same court. You could just see the talent level was so different. And I can't even be like it's a lack of effort. But it's like I just hope that the Nets show growth as the season goes along, so that when they play the Knicks in a future game, like I hope that when we're doing this podcast and it's the fourth game that these two teams are playing each other, and how many, whatever the date is, I don't have the schedule in front of me, but we're watching this game and we're just seeing, and at that point you're seeing different play from different guys. And yes, the Nets are bad, but you're seeing growth where they're not uncompetitive against the Knicks, and it's more of a balance. It's a game, and it's a game. And unfortunately, that's that's where we are right now. And that's where the Nets are right now. And there's just two teams in two very different positions. Knicks are get to the finals or bust, and the Nets are just
they're just rolling along. I mean, excuse me. The Nets weren't going to catch the Knicks sleeping tonight or later in the month when they play again, but they can catch the Knicks sleeping in a couple months when they play again. You know what I mean? If it's just
but I don't care. I don't care.
No, but I'm just saying, like, when the game could be competitive. I'm not being a dick. I'm just like literally saying, like, it can be competitive at some point down the season where it's like if the Knicks are, let's say, fattened up their record, they're now not. They're because they started slow, so now they got a little kick in the pants. They're like, oh, this is not going to be easy, and now they're trying to hit the gas a little bit right now, and they're not going to let the little Nets get in the way. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's kind of like it was a bad time for the Nets to play the Knicks. But down the road, when's the next one? I know they play like next week, but I don't know when the next one is after that.
No, I obviously want to
January 21st. So on January 21st, when the Knicks play the Nets. It's in between a game versus the Mavericks on, I guess that's Martin Luther King Day. So the day after that, like 2 days after that. So that's a game where the Nets can catch the Knicks sleeping a little bit. If like the Knicks are, coming off a national game and, things like that, you never know, but we'll see.
No. Again, it's more for me about the Nets growth than catching the Knicks at the right time. They gotta just get better. I mean, It is what it is, as they say, and that's where they are right now.
And how since we're resetting, we'll bring up some of the things we brought up in the beginning of the show with like Mitchell Robinson, and he is such a difference maker. And yes, he needs to stay healthy, and we all know the health risks with him. But if we can just sit back and look at this guy, what he does not show up in the stat sheet. I know that's like a cliche, but with him, it's true. It really is true. He tips the ball, gets the extra possession, 50-50 balls are all going to him, blocking shots with the left hand or the right hand. The block shots stay in play. He tips the ball to get steals. He's just such a difference maker. And this is exactly why I didn't want to trade him for a bag of chips a couple of years ago when he was hurt, because you can call it Marcus Camby PTSD all you want. It probably is that, to be honest, a little bit, but reminds me of him where it's like injured, problems. And then out of nowhere, he just hit the gas in Denver and won Defensive Player of the Year, led the league in blocks, and was awesome. And the Knicks were looking for a center for a very long time after they lost him. So Mitchell Robinson's my guy. So I'm going to ride with him.
And if you're watching this right now on YouTube or on Alex's Twitter at Nick Central, go ahead, leave a comment in the comment section. We will bring it up on stage. We're kind of doing this and learning this live as we go live. But if you want to leave a comment right now, go ahead. If you have any questions for us, put them there, and we will bring the question on the stage, and we will read it. We'll give you a shout out. So we'll do that right now. So go ahead, leave your comments, leave your questions. We will leave them. Alex going back and playing putting on the screen some of the posts from earlier in this evening. We have about 841 people watching us live right now. Thank you to Marcus Bland for reposting this. Thank you to Anytime Knicks for reposting this. We appreciate that, but we'll make sure to bring them up. Yeah, at Brooklyn Kid. With
this show's not tough to watch. He's talking about
the Nets. It's really tough to watch. Well,
not this podcast.
Yeah, I got this towel. I got this towel behind me. I'll bring this
Let's see it. What towel you have? I can't see it.
So I know. Hold on.
I can't see it, man. Hurry up. Oh.
So this is this feels like a million years ago.
He's holding up a Nets Spurs NBA Finals 2003 towel.
Smells like my cat.
Season tickets to the New Jersey Nets.
But it just feels like a million bajillion years ago, where even something like that was possible.
Is that the series that the NBA on NBC left? They said, forget the NBA. We can't see the Nets in the finals.
That was ABC's first year.
Oh, okay.
That was ABC. The last year of the NBA on NBC was Nets versus Lakers. Mm-hmm. That's why I remember it so well, because it was the NBA on NBC Music with the Nets in the finals. And
that was cool.
It was cool. Right. It was really cool. Yeah. I do feel like because it's still great, the NBA on NBC, and people like us in our early 40s love it, but it does feel like now, because there's like so many games a week, that it's like on all the time.
It's too much.
It's not as special, like where it was like once a week, if that.
It was a Sunday afternoon. It was Sunday afternoon, 3:00. Knicks Bulls. Knicks Pacers.
We don't have to use the Knicks as an example, but yes.
Okay, Pacers Bulls.
Thank you.
Okay.
But does it feel like now, because it's on so many different times and it's like not great teams, like the Nets?
Maybe
the Nets T-Wolves had it. And I'm like,
yeah, I don't know. It's still so early in the season, so I think NBA season doesn't really start until Christmas, but it's still a little early in the season. I think as the games go on, football ends, and we get into that off season, and it's just basketball around for like 2 months. I think it'll be nice, and it'll feel a little different. You get a Sunday afternoon game on NBC or something like that, or Saturday night game or something like that. I think that'd be cool. I don't know.
You didn't ask me my Nets rookies question.
Oh, okay. So every episode on Bad Weather Fans podcast, I ask Mike, out of the five Nets rookies, whose stock is the highest currently? Mike?
I'll go Yegor. I know Blake had a nice game tonight with 15 points, got to the basket a little bit. He brings a lot of energy. But I would say it's like baby steps with him, and he just shown me improvements as the season has gone along. So I'll go with Yegor right now. And I just can't wait for it to be like next year. And
So who are your player comps? Let's say you had to pick one NBA player for, I don't want to, you all five because they're not all of them are playing, but let's say Yegor Doyman, like the Nets top first round pick. What is your best comp right now for him? Like, you're not going to say Jordan Clarkson or something, but I'm saying, like, what do you think?
He's like a point forward that can shoot a little bit from the outside and has a really nice feel for passing. So whatever that is.
Okay.
I don't know. That's it. I mean, some people say like Josh Giddey.
Josh Giddey. Wow, that'd be good
Who
for you.
tortured the Knicks a couple nights ago.
Without the
Nick, weird too. The Knicks are 6-3. They're 0-3 on the road.
yeah, I know.
It's a weird stat.
Good.
And
home
it's,
court. That's the way the Garden used to be in the 90s, man. They never lost at home.
But then they're going to have like their first 14 games are going to be like 10, 13 games. It's like 10 will be at home to 3 on the road, which is
crazy.
Weird. That is
weird.
Why did they do that?
That means later in the season, they're going to be on the road a lot.
Yes. Good math there.
That's going to suck. And in
December,
I mean,
it's just strange.
Yeah, well, there's also the stupid NBA Cup. I'm like, why in December do they have a week and a half off? But the NBA Cup, because they don't know when the games are going to be, so things can change in that.
I think the Knicks have a chance to win the cup this year, Alex.
I hope not.
I think their style of play is conducive for the cup.
Listen, I want them to win. It's true because you got to score a lot of points, right, to get the tiebreakers. But I want them to win every game, of course. But if you're going to lose a game, can you lose an NBA Cup game? Because I don't want them to play an 83rd game that means nothing besides $500,000 for Ariel Huckporty. Like, I don't, you know what I'm saying? I don't. That doesn't get me excited, and I fear the worst will happen in that kind of game. And I've never watched an NBA Cup game championship in the last 2 years because I think it's meaningless and it's a waste of my time. But I'm really nervous that the Knicks will be in that.
Yeah. 2 questions for you. Well, one is a comment. The next is a question. First, I just think the Knicks, they have a chance to win the cup this year. I think the way they're playing right now, they could get one for the city. So I just think they're playing that well. And then 2, with that extra game, do you think Mikal will play 1 minute and then take himself out to keep his streak alive?
But it won't count. Maybe he should sit that game because it won't count for.
That was so stupid.
That was. But he's done it several times now. It's kind of stupid.
I know. It's like.
It is. It's a little fugazi. It really is.
It is not really a streak.
It's not a streak.
Like player don't play.
Right. At least play 10 minutes or something. You're gonna play a second and then foul.
Yeah, fouled.
Play a quarter.
I mean, that was.
You know what I'm saying?
Brutal.
Give me a couple minutes, and then you could be like, yeah, I played, and that's it. Like you dressed, you stretched, you did your layup lines, and then you're gonna just foul and sit down. Like what's the point of that? The
point of it is to keep his streak going.
I guess, but just play a little. But at least help your per game averages. They drop down dramatically when you do that. You have zeros across the board.
It doesn't matter.
No, but I'm just saying, listen.
That doesn't matter.
I mean, it matters because it all drops down 0.2 or so, 0.3.
Still got his money.
Yeah, of course.
Which he earned. He
got his extension, and he has a nice trade kicker. So the Knicks trade him. He makes up the money that he gave up to stay with the Knicks. So that's why it's kind of surprising that he did that. He did that because you would think that maybe the Knicks are planning to trade him. But I think the only way they would trade him is if it's a Giannis trade out there. I don't think the Knicks are doing anything, especially since they're rolling now. Why would they do anything? And you notice how, as a fly flies in front of me, you notice how all of the Giannis talk has quieted down a lot since last week. Knicks lose to the Bucks without 3 rotation players on national TV, and everyone goes crazy. All the I'll say the expression again, the dollar store sports radio hosts that barely watch the Knicks, and they're like, "Oh, the Knicks need Giannis. They need Giannis. Look at this." It's like, would you guys relax? The Knicks have gone further than Giannis in the playoffs the last couple of years. Giannis needs the Knicks more than the Knicks need him to win a championship more recently. Not saying Giannis getting traded somewhere else, he can't win a championship. I'm saying if he stays on the Bucks, he's not winning a championship. He goes to the Knicks, probably winning a championship. You know what I'm saying? So everybody's got to calm down this early season loss. And, that's why I wanted the Knicks to start off fast. They didn't, but that was only like a week of the season. Now they're technically, when is the cutoff for starting off fast, by the way? Is it the first 10, 15 games? Is it the first 3 games?
They're probably going to be 7-3 after 10. So
that's starting fast.
And then 7 times. So they're on pace for 55 wins,
which is
56 wins.
Pretty accurate from everybody's predictions.
You go 7-3 every 10. Yeah. About a 55, 56 win pace.
It's good math. I can't challenge, but
I'm looking at Eric Slater on Twitter, and there's sound from Drake Powell after the game. It said Drake Powell said Spike Lee was talking trash to him before he made a 3 and hit him with the celebration.
Really? That's interesting.
Yeah.
Sorry, I hit the I was trying to send this our live show to somebody else, as I've been spamming everybody's DMs with Twitter, and I hit it as you said that, so I missed the end of that.
Very challenging to speak into a microphone and hearing yourself from 3 seconds ago speak. and trying to put out a sentence is nearly.
I got a funny text from my friend Corey, not Corey Cantor, we mentioned before, and shout out to him. Just got married. My buddy Corey, he texted me, "Damn, Ray Mickens' son picked off Rodgers tonight." You know, Ray Mickens, ex-Jet.
Oh, what's the
cornerback.
score of that?
I don't know, but it just threw me off. And then I was like sending him the tweet, like, "Bro, I'm live right now. I can't like not watching the Steelers play right now."
What is the score? What is the Steelers score?
No idea.
Let me check. I'm curious. Wow, Chargers 12-3. I mean, it's a big game in the AFC. You know what's crazy about that is the Steelers. So we'll
get back to your question in a second, Eater.
Steelers are going to go, if they lose, they're 5-4, and the Ravens won today. They're going to be a game up, which it felt like the AFC North was basically over.
Right.
But with 17 games, it's like the Ravens are going to be one game behind with 8 to go. So I mean, that division's wide open. But yeah, let me get to the question. This is from Eater, excuse me. I'm sorry. Mike, would you rather, who was on Bad Weather Fans? Mike, would you rather play the rookies and lose or play the current lineup and win? The rookies and lose.
Oh, yeah.
The rookies and lose. Yeah. Yeah.
Because you're not winning anything anyway. You're not winning.
Yeah. I can't wait to see them. And hopefully they're better prepared. And like I said, to all the, I don't want to come off here like I'm this Sean Marks apologist, but it's been 10 games. And to quantify what they are right now is not fair. Now, if at the end of the year, this is what you see, and they can't even get on the court, that's that he should be fired. Problem. That's horrible. But that's in 5 months. That's in 5 months. So we'll see. We'll see. You know, I need time on that.
Especially since there's a few impact rookies that they passed up on. So that's it's tough to swallow as a Net fan and a Nets.
Well, what rookies have played well that were drafted after right now?
Let's pull up the draft. Hold on. I don't know off the top of my head, but I know there's some good rookies out there. Hold on. Ooh, it's very dry down here. I'm in my basement right now, and it's like for some reason I'm starting to cough.
So how has go for it?
Oh, they didn't pass them. Why did I think they passed them? Okay, so let's.
You thought they pat on Edgecombe? No. The problem with Pat. Here's what the issue with him was. The Sixers beat. This is the problem. The Nets beat the Sixers during the regular season on a putback from Nick Claxton. The Nets could not. The Nets finished a game behind Philly. So Philly was one slot ahead in the lottery. The Sixers got the third spot.
Yeah.
The Nets went to 8th. So the frustration was if they lose that game, they have that lottery ball. And then he's there.
And that sucks.
That sucks. But in the moment, it was like, oh, we beat the Sixers on a putback from Nick Claxton. In the long run, again, I don't know. Maybe Jaeger will be better than VJ. But right now, probably not looking like that. It looked like VJ might. He's played great. So if he was on the Nets right now, you know, he comes into tonight's game versus the Knicks. The Knicks probably win by 28 still. But he probably goes for 23, and you're like, oh, we got him. You know?
Well, maybe I'm wrong. I mean, as I'm looking at this draft, in my mind, I had thought differently. So I'm wrong because I
don't know. I don't know enough about the league.
7 picks before Nets picked at 8 because it was Cooper Flagg, Dylan Harper, Edgecombe, Knuppel, Ace Bailey, Trey Johnson, Jeremiah Fears, and then Yegor Doyman. And that's pretty bad, man. Like, especially how this is the critique then from Nets fans, I'm guessing right now, is that you didn't tank fully. And because you didn't tank fully, you ended up with Yegor Doyman. And then you had 5 picks. Yeoman, I'm sorry. And you have 5 picks. And you don't trade any of those picks to get future picks or to get a better pick. And you just half these guys are in the G League. You know what I'm saying? And Diome, I can't say his name. He looks okay. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then the top 7 picks all are players. You know, that's pretty frustrating if you're a Nets fan.
Ace Bailey's been horrible.
Yeah, but he's like a talent. Like, he's a really good talent. I guess he's been hard.
I can't get upset about. I can't get upset about them putting him in the G League for a couple weeks. Like, I'm
trying to get into the psyche.
It's not gonna. Now
it's too early. Yeah.
Now you're upset that the tank thing and they didn't land in the top 5. Sure, but also if you look at that draft, Dallas wasn't there. San Antonio. These were teams that were behind the Nets.
Right. Well, the Dallas guy had the draft fixed for them, of course. Everybody knows that.
So,
But yeah,
like now I just want to look at every rookie and how they're playing. I have to see their stats.
yeah, I get it. But
So, like the guy, the center they wanted, the Suns drafted, is averaging 2 points per game. That's going to play highlights. All right.
isn't Cedric Howard good? I feel like he was good. Like he's playing well. I don't know. I feel like I saw his name somewhere. This is
He's
very
averaging
terrible.
15 points per game,
Yeah,
so he's
he's been
having a
good.
good start.
So yeah, that I know I saw him come up in fantasy or something. Yeah, he's been good.
Let's see how Derek Queen's doing. Now,
But honestly, it's a crapshoot. And the NBA drafts, every draft is a crapshoot. It really is. You know, even in years where you think you have the guy, you might not have the guy. Like we talked about 2019, Zion Williamson was supposed to change the NBA, and you know what has he done? John Morant was like, oh my god, I can't believe he missed out on John Morant, and he's having all these gun charges, and he's feuding with another coach. He got suspended by the team. Knicks end up with RJ Barrett and ends up being the best possible scenario because he plays well for them, and then they ended up flipping him for a better player. So it's I'm just saying, you know, you never know what's going to happen. Maybe, you know, Yegor gets better and they end up flipping him. And it's not even about what he does. It's about what he becomes. Then you can package maybe for something else. But is Sean Marks going to be here to do that? You know, stay tuned.
We'll see. All right, Alex, are you we good?
I don't know. What do you think? So, gun to your head. Knicks win the championship this year or no? Let's go right there. Generic. No,
I don't.
No, do you think they get out?
They go to the finals though.
They go to the finals.
I think they do. I would pick them to get out of the East.
Okay.
I would. I would. I think. I think it's hard. It's hard for me to pick against the Thunder. This is not a Knicks. Trust me. I think the Knicks are great. I think they're going to the finals. I think Oklahoma City is just the team, man. Like I don't know what to tell you. They are. They're 9-1. They just don't lose.
Almost lost in the second round. They got taken to 7 games, and then they won in the NBA Finals in the 7th game. I know you won the championship; it doesn't matter, you know. But like, it's not like they steamrolled. You know what I'm saying? And that they were unbeatable. They were definitely beatable, and they just had the ball bounce the right way. They made the right.
Yeah, but we could use that same logic. We could use that same logic for the Knicks. There's no guarantee that they get out of the first round.
What I'm saying is that it's not like they're the Jordan Bulls, the 72-10 Bulls, or the Warriors with Steph and Durant. You know what I'm saying? They're not that. You know, they're a great team, and they're the champs, and you got to beat the champs to be the champs. But I don't know.
No, there's a lot of teams that can win it. Just fine. You know, I'd like.
Yeah, I get it.
I mean, especially in the West, Thunder are 10-1, Spurs, Denver 7-2, Lakers 7-3, Rockets 6-3. But I think as anything has shown in these playoffs, seeding doesn't really matter as much because I think all of these teams are about the same.
Yeah. No, I get that. And one last thing before we go, rest in peace to the great Lenny Wilkens, Brooklyn-born Lenny Wilkens, all-time great player, all-time great coach, was the winningest coach of all time until Popovich broke the record a couple of years ago. Was a former Knicks coach for almost 2 years. Was it's sad. He was old, nobody lives forever, but at the same time, it's still sad. He's late 88.
88.
Yeah, he was 88. He won. He was the player coach I think he was a player coach at the time. I know he was a player coach for the Sonics, but he was also the coach of the Sonics when they won their only championship in 1979. In Seattle, they remember that year, I'm sure, very fondly, and hopefully they get their team back, and maybe it'll be the Pelicans. So we'll see how that goes. I just wanted to mention him because he was an NBA legend, ex-Knicks coach, New York City legend, Brooklyn born, and that's all.
Yeah, no, Lenny, one of the all-time best. No, so sad to see him go, but definitely beautiful life, brilliant career. I can't imagine player coach. Like, what does that even mean?
No, it's impossible now. Impossible. You look at the NBA coaches, there's like 15 assistant coaches. Back then there were 2. You know what I'm saying? Like it's crazy. Anyway. So That's all. Just wanted to
Yeah,
mention
no.
that. But thanks for listening, everybody, and watching on Twitter. Bad Weather Fans available everywhere. YouTube page. That's the name of our podcast. It's not called Knicks Central. It's not called Mike Delivers Pod. It's called Bad Weather Fans.
Mike Lovers Pod.
Mike Delivers Pod. Did
You
I say
said Mike Lover? I thought you said Mike Lovers.
I think you need to get some sleep.
I think you're right.
Available everywhere. YouTube, Spotify, Apple, any podcast app you use. I don't know what other ones there are out there anymore. But check us out. A lot of great guests, a lot of great contact. The only Knicks and Nets podcast. We talk all New York sports, all sports in general. And Mike has to sit through a season like this. But I had to sit through those Durant years. So too effing bad.
Bad Weather Fans, episode 288. Have a good night, everybody. And talk to you later.